like 2 people, but
It's 4 people. Hello, everybody.
Hello. We are
How is everyone? We had some technical difficulties
Yeah,
that
but
led us to kind of
it
be
happened.
only 2 minutes late. It's not that bad.
Yeah. Turns out my only solution to solving computer problems is to reboot my computer.
Yes.
That usually works, so it worked this time.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. That's what IT always tells us to do first. Have you tried restarting your computer?
Yep,
No? Call me back once you did.
there
You
you
know?
go. Yep, that's
There we
always
go.
my solution.
All righty. Okay. So, welcome to the show. If you guys are new to my channel, which I don't think you guys are because it's my channel, but it's not. My name's Lisa.
And I'm Rachel.
Yeah. And this is our April meeting for our Blushing Bluestocking historical romance book club thing that we've been doing for a year and a half now. Or is it 2 years?
Just about a year and a half because
Nice.
we started the November before. So, yeah. Hi, Linda.
Amazing. We have some familiar faces. So we decided to pick a novella for this month's group pick or this month's club pick. And that's because we are busy people and we still want to read. So a novella worked perfectly for us, I think. We were just talking
Yeah.
about it.
Yeah, because I have not had any time this week to read. And then finally I was like, oh, I need to start this. So I read half the novella last night, and then I read the other half today. So
yeah. And I found out, well, I should have kept this on my calendar, but I didn't know or forgot that today was the meeting. I messaged Rachel at like 8 in the morning today going like, I never started the novella. And then I was like, you know what? I'm going to pull through though. And I just let Alexa read me the novella the whole day. And I finished it. So the book that we read is called Desert Island Duke, and it's by Kate Bateman. And we've read Kate Bateman before individually, not as a group pick, but I think we both like her a lot.
Yeah. What have you read by her?
Oh, we've talked about this. I've read a lot of books by her actually, like a whole series too, like a trilogy, but I forgot what the trilogy was called.
Yeah, and this is technically part of the Ruthless Rivals series, which those books, it's like Reckless Match, Daring Pursuit, and I forget what the third book is called. And then this novella is technically part of it because, if you read the novella, they mention the Davies and the Montgomery families, which is what the series centers around. So, yeah, but I've read all of her traditionally published works. And then I've read the novella, The Phantom of Drury Lane. I loved that one. I gave that one 5 stars. And then, I'm looking to read some of her other independent books. Yeah, we read A Wicked Game for this like a year ago. It was like December.
Oh, that's what we read. I knew we read something for her. The book series that I read was the Bow Street Bachelor series.
I read that series.
Yeah. I like her writing. I think it's good. I think it's something fresh, something exciting to keep an eye out on, especially because she's a very consistent author. Every single year she will have maybe 2 books, and then the next year she'll have 1 book. And then I think that's nice. That's nice to have, especially we talked a lot about this in our last meeting too, where we think there's a decline in publication for historical romance. But it's nice to see these consistent authors kind of come out.
Yeah, because I think that she does a good job of she'll publish a traditionally published book every year, and then she'll also come out with 1, maybe 2 independent novellas, or I would say Phantom of Drury Lane is her most recent indie publication. And then she also published, I think it's Second Chance Duke or something, which I still haven't read. I am looking to read that soon, which is her latest traditionally published novel.
Yeah.
But
every time, and then also just a quick side note, every time we do one of these live shows, we end up like picking books, maybe like the first book of a series, and then I just end up finishing the series outside of the book club afterwards. I love that for me. So I'll probably read a lot more of indie romances from Kate Bateman because I did really enjoy this one. This one was really fun. So if you haven't read this novella yet, this one's kind of like a survivor type-ish historical romance where our two characters are stranded on an island and then they have to live there for a couple days and survive, and then they end up falling in love. I gave it a 4 out of 5 stars. Really enjoyed it. Thought it was like really entertaining. Definitely something that I would recommend to my viewers, and definitely something that I would recommend to my friends to like just read. It was quick, easy, cute, and like hot in different areas, and I liked it. How about you, Rachel?
I gave it 5 stars. I really like her novellas because, like I said, I read Phantom of Drury Lane back in October when it came out. That's another novella by her. And she does a really good job of writing these shorter stories because, like, they're the perfect length.
Yeah.
These are couples that don't need a full length novel. And she just, like, knows how to write those types of couples as well as her couples that do have full length novels. And I think, like you had mentioned too, I think her writing style is just very enjoyable to read. I like, something that she writes a lot and that she writes really well is like almost kind of like a frenemies to lovers vibe where it's really just like the hero teases the heroine incessantly. Because that happened like I'm thinking A Daring Pursuit is like probably still my favorite book by her. And that one is even more so a little bit more frenemies to lovers. And her banter is like A plus in my opinion. In that way, she reminds me a little bit of Tessa Dare. And yeah, I had fun with this one. I knew going into it, desert island type vibe. The cover is unreal. Like for a novella, like the cover is beautiful.
For it's indie published, right?
Indie published, yeah.
Yeah, indie published historical romance cover. This one is gorgeous. This
stunning. It's absolutely stunning.
Yeah, I think it was very easy for us to like this one because it had all the elements that we wanted. We were so excited when we found this novella last month to go to pick for this month because it's like everything we want. It's like a cozy little romance. Like what more can we ask for? And then you were talking about like the length of it was perfect and it doesn't need to be like a full length novel. And I agree with you completely because there were elements to the story that, Kate just kind of like dropped it in there, but it was enough to like satisfy what I needed. Like, for example, like our hero always liked our heroine.
Yeah.
And he always wanted to kind of court her, but it was just like how they described it was like ships passing in the night. Like every time he would come back into the city, she would leave on an expedition. And then was their golden opportunity where they were finally together in one spot. So yeah.
I agree with that. And then they dropped information about like him being in the army. He was at Waterloo. And that was one of the things, like there were definitely moments that like gave me butterflies. I was like, hey, Bateman. Like when he was talking about like being at Waterloo and he realized seeing all of this death around him that like he really wanted to live so that he could see her again and be with her. And that's when he realized that he loved her as well. And I always, of course, love a romance where like the hero falls first and the heroine has to figure it out for herself, her feelings for the hero. And I thought that it was fun that he like pretended to have amnesia. And she told him that he was like a stable master. Or something. And I just thought that was just like a fun, and I love that he was never mad at her for that. He was just like, she's just trying to trick me again. Like
it was so playful and fun in the very beginning. The setup of it all was just like, like that's what got me in. Like the playing the amnesia part and then her like making up all these excuses for why he thinks he's not a stable person. Like he's just like, why didn't I just do this? Like, why didn't I just do this? And she's just like, it wouldn't make sense.
Right. Yeah. And that's what I love too, is that like she has like fun setups for her romances. Like,
Mhm.
I'm thinking of Reckless Match in particular, which is book one of this series. That one to me is the most fun of like the three novels that precede this novella. And then Daring Pursuit, like I said, is more like frenemies to lovers. That one's fun, but just in a different way. And I think that's just like a sexier book. But like Reckless Match is more like fun in the setup, kind of like this one is just like fun.
Mhm.
Yeah, I thought it was just like a perfect little something to read, you know.
Yeah. Yeah. And it was definitely like a mood booster, I would
Yeah.
say. Like, it's just like one of those feel good novels that anybody can dive into while they're waiting for, like, you know, in line or something, or like just waiting to
Mhm.
pass the time in between things. So,
Well,
yeah.
and that's kind of what I want from my historical romances most of the time. I would say that, like, yeah, I prefer ones that are more fun and more like just charming and maybe rom-commy, maybe funnier.
Mhm.
Whereas, like, I feel like most historical romance authors that are popular, at least, like, they write angstier,
Yeah.
maybe darker historical romances. I'm thinking like Lorraine Heath, Elizabeth Hoyt, Kerrigan Byrne. Um, there's not a lot of Tessa Dares in the world. There's not a lot, and Lisa Kleypas has a good balance of both. Um, but yeah, like a lot of the time, that's what I want is like the escapism
Yeah.
of that time period, of that society, and just like funny little situations that these couples get into, you know?
Yeah, for sure. And then Linda just has a question of whether or not we remember if either of them were mentioned
You
in the.
know, I'm sure they were. I'm sure they were probably mentioned in more than just the last book, which was A Wicked Game. Like, because I think Kate Bateman mentioned a lot of different names throughout the whole series. So I'm sure that they were mentioned to set them up for their own, you know, story, but I just can't remember. Like, it's been well over a year since I've read that series. I actually want to reread them now that I'm talking about them because they really are a fun time, especially the first two books. Like, I remember we liked Wicked Game, but it wasn't my favorite of of the series. But Reckless Match and Daring Pursuit, I really loved. But yeah, and I love that it's kind of like this more lighthearted, like Romeo and Juliet, like Montagues, Capulets, Davies, Montgomerys vibe. We don't see that in this novella. It's just like mentioned that, like, oh yeah, good thing he's not a Davies, you know, when they got married. But yeah, that's also like a fun aspect of this series.
And then
Oh, okay.
Holly liked this novella more than she liked the series. I think, like, me too. I don't really remember like the other books that you were mentioning. And I see on my Goodreads that I've read book 1 and book 3, but like book number 2, I never read yet.
Oh, it's my favorite.
I'm
It's my favorite
sorry.
Kate Bateman book. You have to read
I'm
it.
sorry. Okay. I will. I'll try my best to read it because now I know it's a good one.
Like, I want to reread it right now. That I'm talking about, I might just because like now I am finding that I'm getting a little bit more back into historical romance mood. For the past few months, I was in a fantasy mood. I'm kind of getting out of that, especially because like now like work is getting really, really, really busy. So I do not have the time nor the brain power to dedicate to fantasy books.
Yeah.
So like now I just want to pick up something fun, like I said, that escapism.
Light.
So
Mhm.
historical romances are the way to go. I'm also like wanting to reread the Bridgerton series, obviously, because
Oh,
Bridgerton
Bridgerton.
is coming out, and I haven't read those books since 2021. But and I feel that series also has a really nice, fun element to it.
Yeah,
You know,
it's lighthearted. It's like dramatic, but like not too dramatic. Like it's about
yeah.
family and stuff like that. I would definitely want to reread a couple books too as well. But yeah. Well, like also just like a continuation of that thought where I said like, oh, I get so excited after we finish our live shows and then I continue the rest of the series. So last book club we read In Which Margot Halifax Earns Her Shocking Reputation by Alexandra Basti. And then
Uh-huh.
I ended up reading books 2 and 3.
Oh, what did you think of them?
So good. 4 out of 5 stars for both of them. So entertaining, so fun. It was, like, angsty in some parts, and our characters were all different and unique, like, they weren't like, the whole idea of these 3 girls is that they're not your typical ladies, like, they do things that are going to be a little bit scandalous, and it was so
Mm,
fun watching them be bold and stand out. Um, Sometimes, like, they would push him away, like, they would push the hero away because they'll say, like, "You can find a better bride than me, like, I'm just, like, somebody that's not right for you." But it wasn't like that at all, like, it was like that, but then our hero obviously convinced her that it's fine, it's okay. So yeah,
yeah.
I really like that one, so that's why I was
Do you
saying, like,
like those 2 novellas better than book 1?
I would bet they are all the same rating of 4 out of 5 stars.
Okay.
Yeah, like,
Yeah.
definitely, like, holds, like, I would recommend them.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, a solid
I just feel that,
recommendation.
like, the more and more that I've reflected on, like, book 1, I just, like there was something left to be desired
Yeah.
for me, and so I'm kind of hoping that I'll enjoy books 2 and 3 a little bit more. I'm definitely intrigued about book 2, because we're gonna get I think it's Matilda's
Yes.
story, her twins' story with the Marquess. I'm very intrigued about that, but, yeah, I'll have to read them soon because they are shorter.
Mhm.
Shorter, novellas, so,
No,
yeah.
yeah, this one I just reread the synopsis because I have a horrible memory and I forget everything that I read, but this one was, like, really cute. Like, this one was, like, it was about our heroine who is an artist, and then afterwards, like, what ends up happening is that she somehow, like, ruins, our hero's, like, reputation and things like that because, like, she's painting these pictures and it looks like him, and it's, like, naked pictures, and he's just like, "What are you doing? Like, you're ruining my reputation," and she's just like, "No, you're not like, I'm not doing it, but it's like, you're my inspiration some parts," and then it's, like, this whole, like, zany mess, and then he
Mhm.
loses his art teacher for his younger sister, and she's just like, "How about I become your younger sister's art teacher?" And then she
Oh.
goes with him to the countryside to their house, and then now he's going crazy because she's so close to him all the time because of the forced close proximity of being in the same place all the time. And it was delightful. I really liked it. It was very fun, entertaining, and definitely lighthearted too.
Oh, cool. What you mentioned about, like, the artist thing made me think of well, I don't know if you've read this, novella by Nicola Davidson.
Mhm. I
It
probably
is
didn't.
let's see. It's technically part of a series. Let's see. I feel like I've talked about this series with you before, but it's the series is called the Surrey Sexual Freedom Society or Surrey SFS.
Oh, yes, you have talked to me about it. The first book
So
is called My Lady's Letter.
book 3 is My Lord, Lady, and Gentleman. So it's
Mhm,
a throuple situation, and one of
mhm,
the men, he's an artist. He paints like erotic paintings,
mhm,
and so like it's also like a marriage in trouble because like he's the artist, and then like we have a married couple, and the wife just like senses that like her husband is like distancing himself from her, and so she feels like, oh, maybe if I get an erotic painting done of me, maybe that'll spice things up.
mhm,
And so then like once the 3 of them meet, they all realize that they all have chemistry.
mhm.
um and so that one's a really good one, so that's just what that made me think of, but yeah.
Yeah, and then I see that, like, that series is, like, a novella series too as well, like, the books aren't that long, and they're easy to digest. I might just have Alexa read them to me because
Yeah,
now
I have not read I think book 5 is like an extended epilogue, but I really enjoyed book 1 is sapphic. Book 2 is like a widow. Um she ends up getting together with like her now dead husband's relative, I think like a distant cousin, because he takes over the earldom or something. And they get together, and then yeah, it's the thruple. And then book 4 is a bodyguard romance
ooh,
where she's actually the dominant one. So
spicy.
mhm.
We like the twist.
Yeah, so that one's really good too.
Yeah.
Mhm.
I'm definitely looking forward to like reading more historical romance. I need to get into it. I don't know what I'm doing with my life where I'm just like not reading. I'm not picking them up fast enough, I feel like.
Me
And I'm
neither.
also reading really slowly. Like
Me
this
too.
month has been a really horrible reading month for me. I think I've only read like 12 or 13 books.
I think I'm right there with you. I think I just finished my 14th book
Yeah.
of the month, and that was this novella. Um, because I read like 4 novellas this month, so yeah, I've read like 10 full length books.
Mhm.
Um, but I also feel like spring, it always ends up being that I pick up more historical romances in spring,
Yeah.
which kind of makes sense because like Bridgerton has a very like spring like feeling. I feel like historical romances do for some reason.
Yeah,
Um,
most of the books are always set in like spring, summer, where like they're
yeah,
like walking on green fields and things like that.
walking in Hyde Park and yeah,
Mhm.
all of that.
Riding
Um,
horses
or
and
they're
stuff
like
like
out
that.
in the country, like the country estate,
Yep.
and it's spring and yeah.
Yeah.
Um, that
Another
always happens. Like late spring into early summer is like my historical romance
era.
era. So like now
Yeah,
that I'm
yeah,
thinking
yeah.
about it, like I remember last year and like the year before that, I feel like most of my vlogs were centered around reading historical romances.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
it
it
just
makes
happens
sense.
that way. Hmm.
Another thing about me is that, like, I wanna read from a Kindle, and I've had a really old Kindle that I bought back in 2018, and
Uh-huh.
I just don't wanna deal with it anymore. But, like, I never bought the new Paperwhite when it was still available. Now the new Paperwhite is sold out, so I have to wait
Oh,
for
really?
yeah, like, it's not available in Canada, like, it's, like, slow delivery, like, instead of
Oh,
one-day
dang.
delivery, it's, like, mid-May is where they have, like, more
Yeah,
Kindles, and I'm like, "This is so annoying."
that is
I
annoying.
I wanna get away from my screen because like, I have a Fire HD, but, like, I wanna get away from my screen because 'cause I'm just looking at screens the whole day, I'm looking at my computer the whole day for work, and then I'm looking at my phone for, like, random stuff. I wanna, like, detach everything from my life, so that's my excuse as to why I'm not reading as much because I just yeah.
That's real though, because now, like, especially like as I've been getting busier and busier at work, all of my admin duties are spent on a computer.
Yeah.
And, like that, and this week in particular, I've just been like staring at a screen like
Yeah.
for like 8 hours a day. And it's just, yeah, your eyes get tired and it's just like you don't want to look at a screen anymore and you shouldn't be looking at a screen for more than so many hours a day
Yeah.
anyway. But yeah, I will. That's probably like my number one thing about why I love my Kindle so much is that like it really does feel like I'm reading from paper, even
Yeah.
though it's not, but it's because it's,
And
it's
easy.
screen.
It's
Yeah, it's easy and like I have so many books saved on there and I can just pick anything I want and start reading.
yes.
And it's not easy to read mass market paperbacks, you
And you
know? They're
and you
annoying.
don't yeah, like, and in bed, you don't have to turn on the light because the Kindle has, like, the light there already, so, like, you're just laying, and it's one screen, so you just lay, you hold on to it, and then that's it. But a book, you have to, like, keep, like, turning the other way to go, like, read both pages.
No, books are
And, like
annoying.
I know, books are annoying as we surround ourselves with all these books.
Right, I know. All these books.
It's just so annoying, like, why are they here? Anyways,
Right.
yeah, and then I'm going to this like influencer event this coming Wednesday. And then the only reason why I took a day off to go was because they are launching or they're celebrating the new Kobo reader that is in color.
I saw that.
So
That is so cool.
I was like, I kind of want an e-reader where I can look at the covers of my books with like some shitty
The
e-ink
color.
color. Yeah, like some tinted thing. So I don't know. Like I thought it was a scam because like these Kindles are, I mean, these Kobos are like $300 Canadian. So they're giving one to
Uh,
each person who's going, and then we're
oh,
learning how to annotate with Kobo readers, and then we have this like popular famous TikTok girly from Canada who is going to show us how to do it. And then they were like, "Oh, like send us your address. We'll mail it to you before the event so that you can set it up at home." I don't know. I mean,
Yeah.
mail is slow, but we'll see if I can get one. But that was just like my side
It
tangent
just like
that
sucks. It just sucks that like e-readers, like if you don't have an Amazon e-reader, then like you can't do Kindle Unlimited. You
I
can't do,
know.
like things are limited by what type of e-reader you have.
Mhm.
So annoying. But I'm very intrigued because I saw like an ad for that. I was like, an e-reader with color, like why hasn't that been done before? Like,
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
and then what Shan was saying in the comments, she said she primarily does audiobooks now. That's like literally the only reading I've gotten done this week is because I listened to an audiobook while driving to and from work. And it's like depressing that that's the only reading I'm getting done.
Yeah.
Like, because that's maybe about an hour or so of audiobook listening. Um, but yeah, I'm like, at least I have audiobooks, at least I have something.
Mhm. And then just to continue that thought about like how like Kindle has Kindle Unlimited, and then Kobo has like everything, but then without Kindle Unlimited. Like in Canada, like our libraries use Kobos. So now
Really?
I know. So now it's like, okay, I'll just use this Kobo if I even get it in the mail. I'm gonna use this Kobo for library books, and then I'm gonna go buy a Kindle, and then the Kindles are Kindle Unlimited. So I'm just gonna have like multiple devices of everything. Anyways, that was just like my little thing.
No, that's
So
really
yeah,
interesting because yeah, like our libraries use Kindle.
that's
Like
so much convenient.
yeah,
Like, come on.
Libby uses Kindle. Yeah. Anything
Yeah.
on Hoopla you have to read on the Hoopla app, unfortunately.
Mm,
But so that means like I'd have to use my iPad, but I only use Hoopla for maybe like comics or like something that I'd want full color anyway. So like
mm,
it's fine. But yeah, Libby uses Kindle, which is super super convenient.
yeah. Okay, so going back to the chat. So currently Holly's reading Secrets of a Summer Night by Lisa Kleypas. That's a
Speaking of
great
that, I
one.
know that B, and I signed up to do this, so I need to figure out when this is. B is hosting a Wallflowers read along this summer.
Mhm.
So it's going to be just like the Wallflower series. So that would be, because Again the Magic is technically a part of that series. That's the prequel. So Again the Magic, Secrets of a Summer Night, It Happened One Autumn, Devil in Winter, Scandal in Spring, and then she's also going to tack on the Wallflower Christmas novella. Um, but yeah, I don't remember the timeline of that. I should know that. um, but that just made me think of that. I also really want to reread her Hathaway's series because that series is so good. Like so. I'm pretty sure I gave all the books 5 stars. I love that series. What is your favorite Lisa Kleypas, you would say?
Ooh, I would say the Wallflower series was definitely my favorite. I read that like maybe a year ago or a year and a half ago, so it's kind of like not fresh in my mind because I forget books all the time, but it's like, like it was more recent. It was recent enough for me to not reread it because I've already read it once, but it was so good. It was so good. Like I
That is
loved all the
amazing.
characters. I loved the friendship. I love how everything was tied together, and then Wallflower Christmas was just like a cute little remembrance of like
I
how
know.
they
It's like a
are
little epilogue.
as a little
Yeah.
friend group. So that was fun. I should like look at like my shelves and just like pick a random series to like read because I just have so many like historical romances and things like that. But
Yeah.
I need to find the time and the motivation. And then also, yeah.
Mm. Yeah, there's definitely certain times where I have more time to read. Um, like I don't know, this summer I should be able to get like a decent amount of reading done because my work schedule is going to be more of like a traditional 9 to 5 where I'll have my nights, I'll have my
Good.
weekends.
Good.
Um, thank God,
Yeah,
because
no, more
I don't know
defined
how much longer
schedule.
I can go with work. I like this week I'm gonna end up putting in hours 6 days. Like this needs to stop. What am I doing? Um, but yeah, like summer. That's like the one thing I will say about summer. Like, yes, it's unbearably hot outside, but like everything else like calms down life wise. for the most part. So like it's a good time to get a decent amount of reading done. Yeah. Yeah, I know. I wanna binge a series too. Or like reread a series. So like I'll be rereading the Wallflower series for that. And then I'm also thinking of like I want to reread some of Joanna Shupe's books. I love
Mhm.
her books. And we did that Tessa Dare read along last summer, and that was so much fun. Because I hadn't read those books I hadn't reread those books in a long time. Um, but yeah, and historical romance series are so easy to binge. It's just so easy to just go on to the next one. You know?
You gotta find a really good one though, that, like, makes you, like,
Yeah,
go into it deep. Again, the magic is amazing. I've been reading, Sophie Jordan. I'm waiting for her, like, regular novels coming out because she just published her, like, other paperback novel in that Scandalous, like,
oh yeah,
series that I was telling you about.
yeah.
I have it, but I haven't read it, and I feel like
Mhm.
yeah.
People are really hyped for her adult fantasy romance
Ooh, she is
books.
a fantasy writer, though.
She
She
wrote
has written
like
so
she
many.
wrote a YA series,
Yeah,
and she's writing an
that was
adult
popular.
book set in the same world.
Ooh.
So people are really excited about it, especially because like she recently announced like um the first editions are gonna have the sprayed edges, you know, that's kind of like
Ooh.
the thing to have.
Ooh,
um
that's fun.
yeah, so that's really cool. Yeah.
Also, like, this is another side tangent. I just keep having side tangents with you because I always just do this, but have you noticed that the publication schedule for books is so slow? Or is it just me? Like, there's just so little books coming out every Tuesday nowadays.
I
Like, I
feel like
know
what's coming out is indie. It's
oh,
all like indie. Either indie or like Bloom. Bloom is pushing out books all the time, I feel like, because Bloom is the one buying up all
yeah,
these indie authors that go viral on Book Talk.
yeah, yeah,
Everybody else, I mean, Avon has started doing the same thing because I noticed that they picked up When the Moon Hatched, which is a really popular fantasy romance at the moment that was indie, and that's going to be republished through Avon. And then they're publishing that Sophie Jordan fantasy romance. I think they're trying to get on the bandwagon of fantasy romance because
yeah,
that's what is
it's big.
trending.
Yeah,
But no, I agree that like definitely historical. Nobody is publishing.
yeah,
Definitely not Avon. I don't. I mean, maybe St. Martin's is.
yeah, they are.
But nobody like Avon definitely isn't. When they used to be like the king of historical romance,
Yeah,
and then contemporary. I would also agree. Contemporary, traditionally published. That's not just a republication of a viral indie book.
yeah,
You know,
yeah.
that's what's lacking for sure.
The only reason why I noticed that there was a slowdown was because I usually do, like, really big pre-orders for each year or each half of the year during the sale that my bookstore has, and, like, I know, like, the publication of the books have slowed down when I see less packages in my front door. Like, I'm like, "So there are no books coming out," and then I go on the website and I check, and I just don't feel like we're publishing as much as we used to, which is just strange to me. So that was my side tangent.
Yeah. Do you get physical arcs from publishers?
I used to get, like, a lot, but then now I still do get them, but I definitely do not request as much. Like, I'm still in contact with, like, Simon Schuster Canada, so I got, like, the new Christina Lauren novel called The Paradise Problem, which I freaking adore.
Oh, oh, okay.
So fun. It reminded me a lot of, like, her other book called Love and Other Words, and then that was fun.
Okay.
That was fun. I really needed that. A lighthearted novel, zany, cute. And then I got a bunch of other, like, romances from them, and then, we have Forever Romance. I don't really get books from Forever Romance, the US division. I get it from the Canadian division, so that's cool too as well. But then and then I also get books from Bloom Books too as well.
So do
Mm.
you feel like you've been getting less books from them? Or no, you just have to request. Is that what
I
you
just
said?
have to request and then they have to, like, approve of not whether or not I get books, but, like, definitely I do not feel like I get as many books as I used to, and I get that. I completely get that because 'cause I've slowed down with social media and I've slowed down with reading in general, and plus yeah, yeah. And I
Hmm.
don't think I request as much anymore. Like, I used to be very active and be, like, looking into catalogs and then requesting outside of the catalogs and things like that. But yeah.
Well, and I have completely stopped requesting arcs off of NetGalley. I used to be
Mhm.
very active on there, and like I would get so excited, and I would always, especially like because I could always get the historical romance arcs.
Yeah.
I was very excited about that, but like I just know in my heart of hearts, I will never read those books before release date. It's not going to happen because
Yeah.
I always wait for the audiobook. So
Yeah.
like I'm not gonna read those e-arcs yeah, before they're published. And I don't wanna keep requesting because then my ratio will go
Yeah.
down. And it's just
Yeah.
like a whole thing. So yeah, I stopped requesting. I haven't reviewed
Exactly.
an arc on there in months. It has been so long.
Exactly. Thank you. I hope
Oh,
we
I
have
hope so too. I hope so too. Because it's what makes me happy.
I do find that okay, I'm not reading to read for quantity wise anymore because I feel like I used to read for quantity wise. I
Me
think I'm
too.
reading for sanity wise now. It's just
Yes.
to like
Yes.
decompress, de-stress, not think about things. And I like the sense of calmness that washes over me when I read like a physical novel or when I'm reading like off of a hopefully a Kindle soon.
Yeah.
But like, yeah. And
Mhm.
I think like just reading like a little bit every day keeps the sanity in check. So that's nice.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm right there with you. Cause like I agree, especially like most of what I read, I have an audiobook with. And what's great about audiobooks is that they keep me focused.
Mhm.
And then if I am reading a book that there just like is no audiobook for, I like to put on some type of ambience video
Yeah.
on my TV because I'm reading in my living room. And I find that that also like helps to put me in like a zen state, like a focused state, kind of like white noise, you
Yeah.
know? Um, and yeah, like reading definitely has become like a way to like decompress
Yep.
from my day, both like we mentioned earlier, like our eyes, like resting our eyes and just like helping to like rest the brain in a sense too. Yeah.
Linda also only averages about 10 books a month. I think it's still pretty freaking solid.
No,
I
yeah.
don't care. I'm gonna be proud of whatever I read and how much I read. I'm not gonna compare this Lisa to the past Lisa and sell myself short because I'm still reading, even when I'm busy. So I think that still is good. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's really cool. 2 book clubs, that's fun. I feel
That
like
is really fun. I do want to join an actual book club that
yeah,
like we
me
get
too.
together in person.
It's like
And
so
I'll have to like
boring.
look up like yeah, I mean online, I mean this obviously this is a fun time, but like
Yeah,
I've never ever been a part of a book club where like we like met in person. Like,
yeah,
you know, I'll have to look up. I'm sure there are book clubs around where I live, but like that's also tough to fit into. Like
yeah.
making time to like go to the book club meeting and stuff, but like and making sure you read the book by then. But no, that's really cool. I do find that like I I either have to like watch way less TV to get more reading done, like because my free time is so limited. So like if I fill my free time with TV, obviously I'm not gonna be reading like at all. But sometimes I'm so brain dead after work that like the only thing I can comprehend is a TV show. So like right now I'm rewatching Gilmore Girls.
Ooh,
So
nice.
like I literally what was it like Monday night. My Mondays are very long. I don't get home. Well, I get off work at like 9:15 at night. And then I like visit my mom for a little bit, eat like a late dinner with her, and then I don't get home until about like 10:30, 11 o'clock. And
You don't have
so
that much time for
yeah,
yourself at all.
yeah, like because by
Yeah,
then my brain is like fried. And so then I literally sat in my living room for like 2 hours, like just I don't even know if I was really comprehending the episodes. Like I
yeah.
was just sitting
You're
there.
just staring at it. Yeah, I get you. I get you.
Oh man.
That's me with TikToks. I'm just like watching TikToks for like an hour and then
Uh-huh.
all of a sudden I feel gross. Like my brain feels like it cannot have any ability to focus on anything longer than 10 seconds. And then
Right?
And then I have to throw my phone across the bed and I have to go reach for something else because I feel like my brain is turning into mush.
Yeah, your brain is rotting.
Yeah. I was like, oh yeah, yeah. And then I try to pick up a book and try to comprehend like 3 sentences, and then I can't
Right,
do it. And then
right.
I give up. So yeah, I'm
And
with
again,
you.
that's why I need audiobooks because, like, most of the time at this point, like, I can't focus enough to read physically. So, like, last night, like, the reason I even probably got through this novella was because I could have Alexa read it to me.
Yeah, yeah.
Like, we are at that point. Like,
There ain't no way I was gonna be able to sit there for an hour and read this novella after work,
oh
right
yeah,
before the live show. No, hell, no way. Like,
yeah.
I needed to listen to it. Yeah,
Thank God for Alexa because
no. But
yeah,
now we are opening a door for us to pick our next novel that is okay to have no audiobooks because we have Alexa reading it for us
sure,
most
sure.
of the time. So the world is our oyster now when we pick our next novella
Really.
or book.
I know. I'm trying to. God, I feel like the last few months, I'm sure you felt the same way. I've just been feeling so stumped
Mhm.
when it comes to picking a book. Like,
Mhm.
I think it's like you said, they're not being published. So, like, there's no, like, there are new releases, but there are no new releases. Like,
Yeah, 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 yeah. It's like, yeah, they show up on my shelf, but is it the one that I want to read? No. They're just there.
I
Yeah.
know. Can you think of any, like, new releases?
Novellas. Like, think of any novellas to read for our next group pick.
And I'm fine with a novella. Absolutely. Like, I am absolutely fine with that. Trying to think.
If you
Actually,
guys have recommendations for historical romance novellas, leave it in the comments below so that we can have some ideas.
I just thought of one, but I need to find it first. Let's see.
Yeah.
And you may have read this one, but I'll look on Goodreads and see. Let's see. So this one is a sapphic romance by Cat Sebastian. I'll show the
I
cover.
haven't read that one.
Now this one is technically the last book of a series, but as we know, it doesn't really matter. I haven't read any of the books from this series. This one's called A Little Light Mischief. It's part of the Turner series. And it's about, so one of the main characters, lady's maid Molly Wilkins, is done with thieving and cheating and stabbing and all the rest of it. She's determined to keep her hands to herself, so she really shouldn't be tempted to seduce her employer's prim and proper companion, Alice. But how can she resist when Alice can't seem to keep her eyes off Molly? So, wait, are they both working? She's a lady's maid, and Alice is a lady's companion? I
Yeah, are they both working then?
think so, yeah. Let's see. When an unwelcome specter from Alice's past shows up unexpectedly at a house party, Molly volunteers to help the only way she knows how, with a little bit of mischief. That sounds adorable. That sounds really fun. Can't always make the meeting because life. Yeah, and I also apologize to you guys because I really have been trying to be better about posting on my YouTube channel about these meetings, and I completely forgot. Like, I didn't even post about this until like 2 days ago. Now, luckily, like, we're reading a novella, so like that's not as bad. But yeah, I'll try to be better about, because what I post about it on my Instagram stories. I don't post about it on here enough. So I realize that like not all of you are on Instagram, so I just need to be better about
My
that.
face being like this as I've never updated my YouTube channel for a month now. And I
What?
really the last video I posted was reintroducing myself with a book haul and then I ghosted everyone again. I just dropped the ball again and never posted a video. I swear guys, I'm gonna try my best. I'm gonna do you guys right. I swear. Um All
I've
right.
heard really great things about this. So this book is in the same series. It's called The Ruin of a Rake. It's an
I don't
MM
think I've read
romance.
that one either.
Um, yeah. What's good about this series too is that all the books are a little bit shorter than most historical romances. But yeah, this is obviously a novella. This one is 144 pages. The sapphic romance that I mentioned. A little like, yeah, a little light mischief. This one sounds fun.
Yeah. I think, yeah, we can definitely read that one. I just never really have like the best luck with Cat Sebastian.
I would agree because now that I'm looking through, I think I've only given like one of her books 5 stars, but I still like
Is
I
it the one?
personally
Yeah.
enjoy everything that I've read by her, but because like she also has like a fun writing style, like and like her sense of humor is fun.
Yeah.
But
Yeah,
yes,
I agree. I've only read, I swear I read one by her. I swear I read one by her. Why didn't, I mean, yeah.
the only one I've given 5 stars is called Unmasked by the Marquis. That's what this one looks like. This one is fun because the heroine um,
She's
has
plus
to,
size, right?
she ends up spending the rest of most of her life dressed as a man. And the hero is bi, and so when they first meet, he believes her to be a man because that's how she's been living. And then it's like, oh, you're actually a woman, so there you go. But yeah, that's a fun one.
That's cute. I read 2 books by Cat Sebastian, and it was a 3 out of 5 for me.
Some of her books have given 3 out of 5 for sure. Yeah.
Wait, this one that was recommended to us is called The Earl on the Train by Kiergan Byrne, and this one is about a pirate, and he's kidnapped our heroine. That sounds good.
That's a novella?
Yeah, it's 6.5 out of the Victorian Rebels series. So it's a part of the
Oh,
series.
I've read some of the books in this series.
The Highwayman, the Hunter, the Highlander, the Duke.
Mm. Yeah, she's an author that like I've really liked some of her books, but then like other books have been real misses for me. I don't know.
I
But
haven't really read her.
she's definitely a darker.
Yeah, that's what I was just gonna say. I was just gonna
Yeah.
say, like that's where it's kind of scary when it gets like really dark. Bree Wolf is another indie romance. I think she's indie. That is recommended to us just right now. Her books look pretty.
I've
Oops.
never heard of her.
I haven't really heard of her either, but her covers look nice. I feel like they're all like fairy tale romance, like
They do
inspired.
look pretty, yeah.
Yeah. The Captain's Midwinter Bride. I'm pretty sure I've read this one, and it was pretty good.
I liked that one, yeah.
Yeah, it was so
That's
fun.
really good. Marriage in
Second
Trouble.
Marriage in Trouble, yes. So good. Anna Bradley also has some short ones. Anna Bradley. I think I have a lot of her books. Actually, I have read some of Anna Bradley's novellas ish. Yeah, they're pretty good. Oh, you know what? There's a series called, this is not a recommendation for us to pick for our next month's read, but she has a series called The Games Earls Play series. Oh my god. And like they're so fun. And I've only read 1 and 2. I never read the 3 and 4 yet, and I should definitely read those like ASAP.
What series is that again?
Anna Bradley Games Earls Play series. So the first book is called Not Just Any Earl. They're angsty and fun.
Oh.
Yeah. And they're short too. So I should go read them. What am I doing with my life?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I am gonna look because I have a lot of let's see. I do have a lot of historical romance audiobooks saved on my Hoopla that I could borrow. Let's see. Um
Aw. Thank you. Thank you.
So
I will do something. I should do something. No, I should do something. What am I doing with my life? This entire live show is just me questioning what I'm doing with my life.
So there's this novella by Sierra Simone. It's called The Last Crimes of Peregrine Hind. I think this is a part of one of those bind ups.
Those Duke I like too.
Yeah, it's not in the Duke one. It might be in the Rake one or the Villain one, but there's an audiobook for it on Hoopla. And this one sounds kind of fun. So it's an MM romance. Peregrine Hind, known to all as the bloodiest highwayman ever to bedevil the road, seeks only one thing: revenge against the Dartham family. So when a robbery sends the second Dartham's son and notorious rake hell Alexander Dartham tumbling into Peregrine's life, it seems that fate has given Peregrine his vengeance at last, except Alexander offers him a desperate bargain to kidnap him instead, so Peregrine can harvest a generous ransom from Alexander's family first. So it's like he was at first going to like exact revenge on him, but then he flips it and is like, actually, we could be in on this together. So he could like pretend to kidnap me, basically. That sounds kind of fun.
That sounds fun.
She does write, Shan just asked this. I don't know. Some of her books, I would say, are more erotica leaning.
Yeah.
Like, her books are definitely sexy, but they're still romances to me. Yeah, because like even her novellas, and I really enjoy her historical romances are really good. Like there's this one series she wrote, shoot, what is it called?
Ivy something, like something, is there an Ivy yet?
Yeah, there's Ivy Leibold.
Yeah.
It's like a sexy Jane Eyre retelling, and it's beautifully written. Like, yes, it's very sexy, but like it's also just like a beautifully written story. So
I wanted to read it because you were reading it, like you finished each book, and I was just like, those covers look so pretty.
They are, and they're novellas, so that's fun too.
So I reread the summary for what's that book that you just talked about for Kate Sebastian? A Little Mischief.
A Little Light Mischief, yeah.
A Little Light Mischief. Yeah, I think I like that book. That one sounds good.
It'll be fun. I think it'll be cute.
Yeah, because it's like opposites attract.
And honestly, it'll give me a good reason to read all of the series, because that's a series that I've been putting off for like no good reason. I own all of the books. Because I've read most of Cat Sebastian's backlist, except for this series. So yeah, we can go with that one.
Yeah, let's make it that one. And then is it May? Oh gosh. Okay, so May is going to be pretty freaking busy for me. But let's try
the novella we went with, guys. A Little Light Mischief by Cat Sebastian. It's about 140 pages. Yeah, my May is also pretty busy. Because like our big showcase, our big end of the year thing is June 1st. So like,
oh, my birthday.
leading up to that. Like, I mean, I know I am available like May 25th and May 26th, for instance, but like I know for the most part I'm very busy.
Yeah.
That month. What about you?
I'm very busy this month too as well. I think 25 and 26 I could probably make it work.
Or 24. No, I don't think I can do the 24th. 24th is a Friday.
Let's not do it after a work day where we're brain dead and we just don't.
Yeah.
After when we're like after a very busy month and we're brain dead and we're just looking at each other.
Yeah.
Maybe maybe 25th, 26th, and then if we must, we can also push it into June. I think June's okay. Like June 8th.
Yeah, like I could do June 2nd. I could also do June 7th. I could do June 8th too. Yeah, so I mean we could do one of those dates that we just talked about.
Yeah. I think I would prefer to do May like 25th or 26th.
Okay.
Yeah.
Um, honestly, either works for me because I know I'm off those 2 days. So
And we can always like push it a little bit if we're very tied up because life
yeah,
gets freaking hectic all the time. So yeah.
yeah, either of those work for me. Do you prefer a Saturday or a Sunday? Is there like
I think I like a Saturday.
then let's do the 25th.
Okay. Awesome. All right, guys.
Cool.
Cat Sebastian, May 25th on Rachel's channel.
Yep.
She's here to me.
And Lisa is here.
I'm stupid.
I know, like,
wrong.
listen, everything is flipped on the webcam, so I do not know.
So dumb. All right, guys. Well, it was really nice chatting with everybody here. Thank you for joining us to
Yay.
discuss our historical romances.
We'll see you in the next one, guys.
Goodbye, guys.
Bye. Good rest of your night.